chair of the board of directors of Music Camp, and the camp has been giving out amazing awards to all the wonderful kids at lunch, and again here with the David Siegelman Award. And that we've recognized the faculty and the counselors, one person without whom this camp would never go, and with whom this camp not only becomes a camp, but a place of immense spirituality, extraordinary musicianship. And I want to have everyone take a moment to thank one of the greatest people I know, Deb Sherr. So I do a lot of public speaking in my other job as a professor and a doctor at a children's hospital. And I can say with great confidence that I have never made a speech or a proclamation that was more close to my heart, or which I felt was of more importance than the one I am about to make. Greenwood is approaching a remarkable moment in 2022, which seems like it's a little way off, but you'll see why I'm going in advance here a little bit. Greenwood will turn 90. That makes it the oldest music camp in America. And one of the most remarkable things about Greenwood that I think if you think about any other educational institution you've ever heard of, in that entire span there have been 2 directors. Mull that over. For the first 50 years, this camp was jointly run by Bunny, Ruth, and Dwight. And for the subsequent 40 years as of 2022, this camp will have been run by Deb Sherr. Deb Sherr was my director when I was a kid here. I'm a very old man. Sorry. So, and I will tell you that she was much more than a camp director back then. Deb, back then, was my second mother. I love you, Mom, but I have 2. And she was the person I went to when I was having all the troubles and turmoils that adolescents will have. In fact, my wife will tell you that when she was meeting my mother, wasn't nearly as frightening as when she had to meet Deb. But the reason why I'm bringing this up is Deb came up to me a few years ago and asked me to serve on the board, and her reason for asking, and you never say no to Deb, is because she informed me that in 22 that will be her final year as the director of Greenwood Music Camp. And that was, so first thing I said was, no, that's not your, change your mind. And Bill said, no, that's really her last year. And I was hoping I could get her back for 1 year, but after the fire alarm fiasco, I'm sure she's had enough. But so the job fell to the Greenwood board to find a replacement for this remarkable person who is without a doubt the spirit and the soul behind what is a place that for all of us is so meaningful. It's meaningful because I see people like Francesca coming back here. I was her camp counselor. I carried her up a mountain. That's another story. But the point being is that this place brings about in people such substantive change that famous musicians and people who don't become musicians alike come back here and have that soul, like we heard talked about in church today if you were there, like you hear them playing in the concert yesterday. So as the Greenwood board got together, we formed a committee and we thought long and hard about what are the important aspects of being a Greenwood director. And we sent out an announcement that we were looking for a replacement, and we have found that person. So I'm here today to announce the next Greenwood director. We needed the next Greenwood director to be a remarkable musician. Not just a good musician, but a remarkable musician. A musician who understands the nuance of the literature, a musician who understands the nuance of teaching the literature to children. We needed a musician who had the capacity to reach out to peers across the country and bring in the best teachers and the most thoughtful people who would be able to not only understand the music and bring new music to us, thank you. But also who would be able to get these kids to bring them to a place where they could appreciate and adore this music, which is what Greenwood is known for. We're known for teaching kids to love music, but also we needed a Greenwood director who could foster a community, who could innately and intuitively understand the adolescent experience, a Greenwood director who could work with kids who are troubled and work with kids who are well, and a Greenwood director who could bring together this community of kids who are so remarkable. So we found someone who is like that. We found someone who is a nationally, extraordinarily well-known, very accomplished performer. We found someone who is a true educator in every sense of the word, whose life goal is to educate. We found someone who has extraordinary connection to children. And most importantly, we found someone with the emotional maturity and sensitivity to direct this camp into the future, hopefully for another 45 years. That's our average. Sorry. So I want to announce this person, but I don't want to announce it to you. Because we learned in church this morning that adolescents, they're their own people. So if you'll bear with me for a minute. Folks, your next Greenwood director starting in 2022 is Becca Fisher.
Working with, and I was honored to meet Bunny Little a long time ago when I was a camper. I've been involved with his camp since 1986. So as you can tell, I can't leave, like a lot of us. So I'm just really grateful